Hello everyone. So now that we have understood, the concept of information, it's time for us to further understand the various concepts related to information system, the different types of information systems, all right, and their advantages, their characteristics. This is a very important chapter, so please make sure that you learn it completely. So what do you understand by an information system? As we have studied, information system is a system which is used to provide information. All right. So how will we define an information system? Now, there will be different components which will be, included to provide effective information. All right, information system. There will be different components first of all. All right, and these components they will enable information to be used. So basically whenever there is some data or information, you need it processed and you need information to make some decisions from it, right? It has to be conclusive. As we understood the various characteristics of good information, it has to be relevant, it has to be accurate. So why does it need to be that thing? Because it is needed to make decisions. All right, so how we can define it is a set of components or events that provides effective information for decision making. Okay, now as we are what we are understanding, what we are reading here is about why this information system is so important towards business. So let's see what are the implications of business information system in business. Now various kinds of information is required by different levels of management. All right, so implications also depend on the different levels of management. All right, like towards the higher level, let's say the strategic managers, why they need information is to take important decisions, and these decisions or these situations may not have occurred in the same way prior. All right, because at strategic level, they face unforeseen circumstances. There may be some issues which have not been faced earlier. So for strategic managers, the role of information system is to provide them with cases or models from the previous experiences so that they can take proper decisions. All right, whereas in case of, let's say, operational or slightly lower level mid-level managers, they need information to manage their employees and their reportees, and they need information to run day-to-day tasks, whether their employees they logged in, whether they started work, are they absent, are they on some sort of leaves, what are the timings when they are working, have they completed each and every task. So different kind of information as compared to strategic managers or higher level managers. All right, so first of all, knowledge gathered through information system may be utilized by managers in unusual situation. As I mentioned, unusual situation is something which has not occurred before or which was not predictable. All right, and now because of the previous information which has been gathered, you might decide what is the right thing to do in an unusual, unpredicted situation. Right. Then innovative ideas for solving critical problems based on information. Let's say there is a new piece of information, or there are so many findings. Based on that, you will find out innovative idea for solving critical problem. Right. Take the right decision at the right time. So it is very important for a manager of any level to understand what information is important and when. All right, and because these small decisions, these small piece of information, the decisions that you make at manager level, whether it is even a small decision or bigger decision, it has to be taken at the right time. So an information system enables managers, all right, to take the right decision at the right time, and it also helps in effective decision making. Now because of all these four things, knowledge gathering for unusual situation, innovative ideas, right decision at the right time, and effective decision making. All these enable in the fifth and the final implication, which is to gain competitive edge. Okay, when Intel was keen on innovation, and they were able to identify their bugs, they worked on them very proactively, and they were able to gain that competitive edge. Today every the chip and processors, microprocessors are of Intel. Similarly, you can take the example of Apple, because of its the focus of on innovation and good technology. They had that they have this competitive edge. All right. So when information systems are properly utilized, they will enable an organization to gain the competitive edge. All right. Now there are two kinds of information system. All right. Now we have studied that what is an information system. It will include two processes. First is your input, which will go into processing, and then you will get output. All right. Now there's one kind of system in which this is completely based on human intervention. All right. If this process is includes human intervention, in that case it would be manual. All right, because each and every step is being directed by humans. However, if the complete process, okay, of information information process output, then there is your feedback, there is also storage. If this complete process is being taken care of by a computer, all right, in that case it is computer based information system. And why is that? Because the complete, if this is completely done by computer and there is no human intervention, then this is your computer based information system. All right, human intervention is absolutely not required, and the complete process is done by computer itself. So now that the complete process is done by computer itself, then the computer has obviously to play a major role to play in these computer based information systems. And as you know that computers are they are high in efficiency and productivity. Therefore, because of a CBIS, a computer based information system, you are able to utilize many advantages. All right, so now we'll define computer based IS. Now a computer based information system, or a CBIS, is utilizes computer to what? There are four or five tasks that you have to do, right? You have to collect information, you have to analyze it, then you have to process it, and depending on what you need to do, you will either need to store or distribute it. All right, so collect, process, store, analyze, and distribute information. So a CBIS will use computer to do these five tasks. Okay, and what will they do? They will do these five tasks on information. So distribute information for a specific purpose, such as meeting a business objective. Everything we are doing right now is about a business objective. So this is the complete definition. I'll just repeat it. A computer based information system uses computers to collect, process, store, analyze, and distribute information for a specific purpose, such as meeting a business objective. And as discussed, obviously, an IS in which the computer plays a major role is your computer based information system. All right. Next, we will study the various elements of computer-based information system. Now, this is something which we have already previously covered. So, basically, these will be the same as the elements of information system, and these 5 elements are hardware, software, data, people, and network. All right. Hardware, you understand the tangible parts. All right. And what are these? Your input output devices, all right, or your storage devices, CPU, everything, processing devices, all the devices which you can touch, the tangible parts are the hardware. Software will be the intangible or the virtual. For example, you have operating system. All right. I'm just quickly covering so that you can revise them, but otherwise we have already covered these elements. Data is obviously the information part. People are the users associated or the human resources which will ensure that the work is being done. And network is your interconnection or the communication which will be used in for distributing the information between different elements. All right. So these 5 elements are the elements of CBIS. Now further, all right. Next we will study the major areas where CBIS are utilized. Now, if you think about it, there are different, functions in your organization, and these different functions will require different piece of information, or they will be able to, utilize information in different ways. So, uh, first of all, let's talk about finance and accounting. Now, where will these functions utilize them? The information. All right. They will utilize information to ensure financial viability. All right. So higher level managers or strategic level managers will decide whether the kind of finances, the profits that you are making, that the loss that you are generating in an organization, how much future is there for the organization, or based on. So the first point is to ensure financial viability. Then the second thing is in forecasting revenues. So based on, all right, that in the last year or in 2017 and 2018, the, let's say, quarter 2 generates let's say 4.7 crores of sale. So we are assuming that the quarter 2 of 2019, because we are doing something better, so it will also generate 5 crores. Basically, like, you'll be able to forecast revenues based on previous year's data. So in this case, we looked at the previous year's data, already the sales figures. So therefore, for finance and accounting teams, this data the CBIs will be used for ensuring financial viability and forecasting revenues. For marketing and sales, it will help to maximize sales. All right. Once they gather information about which product is selling, which audience are buying up their particular product, then they can utilize this information to target more such users, or to sell to put more efforts on selling a particular product. So to maximize sales and then to ensure customer satisfaction, there are different customer surveys at different points of time, right? So with information, marketing and sales functions will do these both tasks. Then is inventory management. So basically, how much inventory you have in stocks, whether a particular item is available, whether it needs to be reordered, whether it needs to be uh, created from scratch, produced, depending on what you are dealing with. So monitoring or tracking the stocks. And then lastly, human resource management, which is also very important, because to manage human assets, like as I mentioned earlier, whether which employees are attending office on a particular day, whether they are on sick leave, whether they are on let's say your planned leave or unpaid leave, that kind of information. What time do they log in, what time do they log out, what are the salaries. So all that information will be utilized for human resource management. All right, and that will be utilized towards managing human assets. All right, so these are the major areas in which CBIS would help these different functions. The next thing we will study is the types of information systems. System will be utilized, at different levels. So first we will, as I mentioned, that the usage of information system or the implications of information system in a business would be on different levels. Alright, and this would be based on the management level which is utilizing this information or the information system. Alright, so first we'll talk about the different hierarchies of the company. Okay, and then we will talk which information system is used in a particular level and who utilizes it. Okay, make sure that you draw this diagram if there is any question relating to information system. All right, so first of all, the highest level in an organization, which is the top level and which requires some strategic decision making. All right, it is also called as strategic level system. Okay, so first comes our strategic level system. Then we have the management level system. All right, management level system would mean where the mid-level managers are there, people who need to make decision and manage the employees who report to them. All right, so this is the second management level system. Then comes your knowledge level system. Knowledge level system is people who are experts in their fields, people who execute the actions or take expert decisions, all right, on a more regular activity. And in the end, you have the operational level managers or operational level operational level system, which is required by people who are executing the tasks at the very ground level. All right, so there are four levels. The first one is your top level, second is management level, knowledge level, and then the last is your operational level. Now, what do you think would be, if we talk about the very first level, the information system used at this level is executive information system. So whenever you're talking about strategic decision making or top level managers, the information system used is executive information system. The way you can remember this is because the people who are at the top are the executive team, so the information system used for them is executive information system. All right, and obviously if they are the top level senior managers, then therefore it is used by senior managers. All right, the second level comes as management level system. There are two information systems which are used at this level. The first one is your decision support system, DSS. As I mentioned, this level of information, this level of your organization requires information to make decisions on a more regular level. All right, so they require systems like decision support system and management information system. Okay, so systems which will help them or enable them to ensure that the HR level or to manage human assets, all those things will come in management information system. All right, and this is used by obviously the mid-level managers, all right, or the middle managers. Next comes the knowledge level system. The information systems used here are OAS or KMS. All right, KMS stands for knowledge management systems, and this is used by, as I mentioned, these are skilled data workers or knowledge workers. All right, so this level, this information system is used by knowledge and data workers. And in the end, we have operational level system, which is to the extent of each transaction. So one of the operating system used here is transaction processing system, and as I mentioned, this is used by the operational managers, people who execute these activities. All right, so these are the four different types of information system. Now we will start studying them one by one. So we'll start with the strategic level system or the top level system. Now, as I mentioned, this is used by strategic managers. And why would they require this information? They would require this information to track and deal with strategic issues. Right? Now, the top level management needs information for long-term planning. All right. So, and also as we all know that the top level people will have a crunch of time, right? They will not have a lot of time. Okay. So the kind of information system that they require is, it has to be ease of use. It has to be interactive. All right, and it has to be something with a lot of graphs or trend analysis. Why? Because the top level managers, they will not have a lot of time, all right, to look at detailed reports and read and understand them. No, what they want is data which is readily understandable, which is depicted in a format which they can just go through and understand. All right, so therefore the information system at this level, they are very easy to use. Okay, and they are used for long term planning. All right. So these are the different characteristics. We'll read them one by one now. So first of all, strategic level system is used by strategic managers to track and deal with strategic issues, assisting long term planning. All right. And the information system used at this level is executive information system. Now what is this? It is used by executives to assess and administer, to access and administer the data they entail to make informed business decision for long-term planning. Okay. Now we will study about the various features of EIS. As I mentioned, it has to be interactive. Alright, it has to be easy to use. And how will you ensure that an information system is easy to use? By ensuring that it has icons and pull down menus. Alright. Then it must have touch screen. Alright. Trend analysis. There should be graphs, there should be picto charts or colorful graphics and standard templates, so that it is easy for the managers to read this information or to utilize the same standard template across different functions. Alright. So these are the features of EIS. Next is the characteristics of EIS. So it has to be future oriented. Alright. It can come from informal sources also. It lacks in structure because it will have a lot of information. Alright. It has very low level of detail. As I mentioned, if it would have high level of detail, then there would be detailed reports. But that is not something that the strategic level managers would require. They require the final conclusions, very low level of detail, but the relevant information they need there. And it has high degrees of uncertainty. So this is what executive information system is about. Right. Next we come to the next level, which is the mid-level management system. As you remember, the information systems used here are DSS and MIS. And DSS full form is Decision Support System, and MIS stands for Management Information System. Correct. So now let's see why mid-level managers would require this, or why this management system is required. So it supports the middle level managers or the middle managers, and what, for monitoring, decision making and administrative activities. Audit administrative activities, I told you, for HR, asset management, right? Decision making, alright, based on the previous data they can take important decision, whether how many resources to allocate to which particular function or which product to market more, and monitoring, who is logging in when and all that stuff. Okay. The next thing is, it provides periodic reports rather than instant information on operations. So basically, let's say a mid-level manager would require a monthly report on the sales figures or the salary drawn. Okay, this provides periodic reports rather than daily or instant information. It will provide you a periodic report. It can be daily, weekly, or even monthly. Alright, but it's not instant information. It is something which is already fixed and decided. Okay, and as I mentioned again and again about attendance and everything, an example of a mid-level in management system would be your college control system. Okay, and this college control system, it will give report on the number of leaves availed by the staff, or the salary paid to staff, or for the administration function it would also provide you the funds generated by fees. So all this information, these are different kind of information, but it will be required by the mid-level managers. All right, and for management or for decision making. Okay, whether it is for HR management or monitoring or decision making, the system will be used by mid-level managers. All right, and you will not require this report on a daily basis, right? Or immediately, instantly you would not require this. So it will be a periodic report. Okay, so now as we studied, there are two kinds of mid-level management system. The first one is your MIS. So first we will study about MIS. Okay, now management information system. What is this used for? Okay, it is an integrated user machine system. Okay, for providing information to support operation, management, and decision making functions in an organization. Now, one thing which is very important and which you need to ensure that you remember is a management information system may be utilized by mid-level as well as strategic level. Why? Because human resource management or decision making has to be done at even strategic level, right? So whether this information is being utilized at the mid level or at the strategic level depends on the criticality of the information, but it may be used by high level also. Okay, and these systems, an MIS is a system which provides accurate, timely, and meaningful data. And what will this data be used for? For management planning, analysis, and control. What is the final objective? The final objective is to optimize the growth of the organization. Okay, so how we will remember this is, this is very important, so you need to remember it. All right, so first of all, try to understand what this you can remember by the name itself that it is used by management level. All right, what is it used for? Optimizing growth of the organization, right? How you will ensure that it happens is by management planning, analysis, and control. And what would you need for doing these three activities, management planning, analysis, and control? You will need accurate, timely, and meaningful data. Alright, and then you have to write it in the opposite role. Okay, so a system which provides accurate, timely, and meaningful data in for what? In order to do management planning, analysis, and control, which in turn will enable you to optimize the growth of an organization at the mid-level management level. Alright, this is an information system, and how it does it? This is because it is an integrated user machine system which is utilized for providing information to support the different functions. Which are the different functions? Operation, management, and decision making functions in an organization. Okay, the example of an MIS would be your airline reservation system. Okay, it is used by different functions, or whether it is the scheduling team or seat booking, or the payment finance team for payment, everything. So different functions would be involved when it comes to airline reservation system. Okay, the boarding list, and this is an example of an MIS. Now we will study about the various characteristics of MIS. As I mentioned, in an airline reservation system, there would be different functions across the team which would require it. So for seat booking or for payment, or let's say if the complete seat booking is done, then it needs to be taken off the payment, or it needs to be shown in the same thing. All right. So therefore, first of all, MIS should have a common database. All right. Whether it is through online or at the airport, it will have a common database. Then it will be computer based. Obviously a higher efficient system would be one which is computer based. If you are maintaining an MIS manually, it will not be as efficient or productive. Alright. Then it should have a common data flow. Alright. There should be different modules, but the data flow should be common across all these modules. So that also brings us to another characteristic, that it should be modular. Alright. Then it should be management directed and management oriented. Why? Because this primarily helps the managers in making decisions, in managing and taking control. So it has to be management directed and management oriented. And as I said, common data flow should also remind you that it should be modular. Alright. Now if there are different modules, okay, and you need them to work in totality, then it has to be completely integrated. Okay, it needs. And why would you do so many activities? Because it should be need based. So whatever information or whatever a piece of information is required to take a particular decision, that should be there. So it should be need based. Also it should help in long term planning. So all these characteristics, all these are the characteristics of MIS. Okay, again I will just help you to remember them. How you need to remember these is, first of all, you need to say that okay, an MIS is obviously computer based. Okay, now if computer is there, then there has to be a database which needs to be common. If the database is common, then the data flow will also be common. Okay, now if there is common data flow, then where will this common data flow be? In different modules. Okay, so if there are different modules, that means that it has to be modular. Because otherwise data flow, if it is a common data flow, what if it is only a single module, then there is no sense of common data flow or common database, right? So the common database and common data flow needs to be in different modules, and therefore an MIS needs to be modular. And if there are different modules, then it needs to be integrated. Okay, and need based and long term planning are obvious things for an MIS. Now we will study about the DSS, which is the decision support system. Okay, now again this is also computer based information system, and what it helps is, it helps business and organizational decision making activities. So the difference between DSS and MIS would be, MIS helps you in management and control activities also. This DSS is specifically for decision making activities. Alright, how this works we will just study. And it is a system which provides tools to managers to assist them in solving semi-structured and unstructured problems. Why is this so? So let's say if there is a problem which has proper structure, which has occurred before. In that case, if the problem has already occurred before, then you would have a proper solution to it. And so in that case you will not require decision support system. In that case it would be an operational activity only. You already know how to take care of it. Alright. So in that case, that would not be you would not require DSS. However, problems which may or may not have occurred, or which are semi-structured or unstructured. Right? Unstructured is completely like it's a completely new problem, new issue. You did not understand that it has never occurred before. Semi-structured is it has kind of occurred before, but it is it is slightly different now. So this system, a decision support system, will provide tools for managers to ensure that they take decisions to solve these problems. Alright, what are these tools? So basically, your DSS system would have different components. Okay, first of all, there's a planning language, and the user interacts with this planning language. Alright, this planning language would in turn be connected with two databases which are there. Okay, the first one is your user database, and the second one is model base. Okay, now what database is, okay, and this complete system is your DSS. Okay. So the user interacts with this planning language, alright, which in turn is connected to your database. The database contains company and user information, okay, and the model base consists information about previous instances, alright, previous experiences which have happened, which are considered as models. Okay, like you have test papers, some model test paper or previous year question test paper. So previous year is something which has already happened, alright, or model is also something like you are taking it as an example or as a case. So model database, model base would have previous experiences as models. Database would be the actual company and user database, and both of these will be working in connection with the planning language, alright, and this complete DSS is being utilized by the user. Okay. Also, the planning language that we have, this planning language will be of two kinds. The first one is your general purpose, and the other one is special purpose. Okay, so general purpose is used for as the name suggests, generic work tasks, and special one would be which has specified very particular specified tasks. All right, so these are the four different components of a DSS: the planning language, database, model based, and your user. Okay, now let us study further. I hope the diagram is clear to you. Okay, so these are the four components of DSS: user, programming language, database, and model base. All right, and the two kinds of programming language are general purpose and special purpose. What is a DSS? A DSS is a computer based information that supports business and organizational decision making activities. Okay, it is a system which provides tools to managers. What for? To assist them in solving semi-structured and unstructured problems. Alright, and it supports the human decision making process rather than a means to replace it. It's not, decision support system is not enough in itself to solve problems. It just supports the human decision making process through all that information to solve the problems. Alright, it does not replace it altogether. Alright, next we will come to the knowledge level system. Alright, so next is knowledge level system. Alright, Now, what does knowledge level system mean? All right. Now, uh, information systems which are used to for discovery, process, and storage and delivery of data. And who will it be used by? It will be used by data workers and your knowledge workers. All right. So this supports discovery, processing, and storage of knowledge and data workers. Okay. And what it helps is it supports the business to integrate new knowledge into the business. Okay. Old knowledge तो है ही आपके पास. You already have the old knowledge. Now the new knowledge to help it integrate into the business and control the flow of paperwork. So an example of this would be, let's say that you are running an experiment, and this experiment help you with new findings. And let's say that because this experiment you wanted to reduce your cost, so you were doing this in only one part of the country, which is Chennai. Now the findings which of this experiment, whether it was successful or unsuccessful, you want these findings to go to your branches all over India, right? Because you've already spent all the time and money and effort on doing an experiment and finding that. So this is basically your new finding is your new knowledge. Okay. And in order for the organization to include this new knowledge, for the complete all organization level, they require knowledge level system. All right. So a knowledge level system would first of all enable you would support discovery, processing, and storage of knowledge. All right. And secondly, it will ensure that it will help the business to integrate new knowledge into the business and control the flow of paperwork and enable group working. Okay. So the first example, the first information system used at this level is, we have studied about uh, OAS, and the other one is KMS. Now OAS stands for Office Automation System. So basically all the day-to-day activities, right, which are to be done in an office. Let's say your documentation, paperwork, filing reports, or searching for a particular activities, all these activities when automated, alright, or they are done by office automation system. And why do you automate anything? Because you need to improve your efficiency, alright, or control accuracy. What else? You need to reduce time and cost. These are the primary reasons why you go for automation, right? To improve efficiency, to reduce the time and cost, to improve accuracy, to improve communication, and all these are essentially the benefits, okay, of OAS. Okay, so by now I think you would have understood the most common example of office automation system is the MS Office. Any presentation that we create, any Word document that we create, for our laptops, mostly are done through MS Office. Right? So this is the biggest example of an office automation system. Okay. So now let us define it. Now first of all, this is the most rapidly expanding computer-based information system. All right. You know how much you need more facilities, or what all the different activities. All right. So which office activities are grouped in this? As I mentioned, document capture, document creation, receipts and distribution, all right, filing, search, retrieval, all right, follow up, calculations, recording and utilization of resources. All these activities can be done through a different office of automation system. All right. And the next thing is benefits of OS. As I mentioned, it enables or it improves the accuracy of information. It improves communication, alright, creating, drafting those messages and everything, and it reduces time and cost, both of which are very important when organization. Okay, now examples of OAS. So if you you know what, first of all, the first example that we have read is MS Office. Okay, then to improve communication, so different kinds of your teleconferencing, right? You have Skype and all those things, they will be utilized then. So now let's just study about the different examples of computer based OS. Okay. First of all, you have text processing system, electronic document management system, or your PDF readers and all, electronic message communication system, okay, and teleconferencing and video conferencing communication systems. So basically your Skype and all. Okay, so these are the examples of different OS. Now we come to the second kind of knowledge level system, which is your knowledge management system. All right. Now what is knowledge management system? Now a KMS, as I mentioned, is utilized for your day-to-day activities at the transaction level. Sorry. आपको आना है क्या? Alright, so next is our knowledge management system. Okay, so this is the second kind of information system used at the knowledge level system. Okay, now what is knowledge management? Knowledge management is the process of capturing, developing, sharing, and effectively using organizational knowledge. Okay, capturing, developing, sharing, and effectively using organizational knowledge. Now what this knowledge would be used for? Okay, it refers to a multidisciplined approach to achieving, again, organizational objectives by making the best use of knowledge. As I mentioned earlier, the whole point of having different information systems is to achieve organizational objectives. Okay, now how it is utilizing is depends on which level it is being used, because this is used at knowledge level system, so this will achieve organization objectives by making the best use of knowledge. Earlier we studied that an MIS would enable optimize the growth of organization. How? By doing the activities which that does at management level, which is control, analyze. Okay, so uh, if you are able to relate all these things and understand all these things, you will not need to remember them. Then you will understand and you will be able to write in the exam. All right, so this is a multidisciplined approach to achieving organizational objective, and how? By making the best use of knowledge. Okay, so it refers to any kind of IT system that stores and retrieves knowledge. This this is related to your capturing wala part. Okay, improves collaboration. As I mentioned, if there would be if knowledge is being shared across different levels, it will improve your collaboration. It locates knowledge sources. As I mentioned, whether the experiment was being run in Chennai or somewhere else, so it will locate the knowledge source. And mines repository for hidden knowledge. Basically, it will ensure that you do not do repeat the same mistakes at an organizational level. If you have already tested something out, then you are able to do that. So basically, repository for hidden knowledge. Okay, and it captures and uses knowledge, or in some other way enhances the knowledge management process. So the overall objective is to do the different tasks on knowledge. First of all, storing and retrieving it. What will happen with that? It will improve collaboration. All right, it will locate knowledge sources. All right, and it will mine repositories for hidden knowledge. Okay, and this is what your KMS is. Okay, now there are two kinds of knowledge which the knowledge management system would utilize. All right, and these are whether you already know something. Okay, explicit knowledge, which is obvious because you read it somewhere or someone told you. All right. And the other one is implicit or tacit knowledge. And tacit knowledge is something which is gained based on your experiences. It can be experiences or it can be the application of explicit knowledge. All right. Explicit is something that is stated, which is obvious, which you have read, all right, or have been told. Tacit is something which is based on experiences. Okay. Now, an example of KMS would be the internet access to best business practices, sales proposal strategies, or customer problem resolution systems. Right? These internet are a key feature of big organizations. All right, they are not shared with outside organizations or teams. Not the complete internet. Only a few relevant files might be shared, but otherwise to the the business practices and to the different functions in an organization, these things are available. Already different case studies of customers and all. So we will simply revise this one. Okay. Knowledge is first of all of two kinds: explicit, which is which you have read or understood or have been told, and the other one is tacit, based on experiences. And that is why it is so important to capture this information, because based on someone's experience, it may be a unique experience, and you should be able to, as an organization, you should learn from those experiences. All right. So knowledge management is the process of capturing, developing, sharing, and effectively using this organizational knowledge. It refers to a multidisciplined approach to achieving organizational objectives by making the best use of knowledge. A KMS refers to any kind of IT system which stores and retrieves knowledge, improves collaboration, locates knowledge sources, mines repositories for hidden knowledge, captures and uses these knowledge, or in some other way enhances the knowledge management process. An example of this is your internet access to best business practices, customer problem solutions, case studies, or sales proposal strategies. Okay. The next one we have to study is about operational level system. Okay. All right. The next one is the fourth level, which is the operational level system. Okay. Now, this is for your day-to-day activities or the very elementary activities. Okay. And it provides a variety of information for external as well as internal use. Okay. So, the role is to effectively process business transactions. Okay. Control industrial process, support enterprise communication and collaboration, and update corporate database. Now, too many big words. All right, let's understand. Operational level system. Let's say you go to a big bazaar or a food bazaar, and you say that, all right, pack, I have purchased these 5 items. All right, so these 5 items, they have to be first of all maintained an inventory. Okay, there has to be an inventory for the same. Okay, then apart from your the person who is at the cashier, apart from the cashier, who else needs this information? Your first of all the operational team, so that they can decide whether they need more of that inventory. Secondly, your finance team, that okay, customer X purchased items worth rupees 500. Okay, and each item was for whatever price. Okay, then so basically at the same time your uh, the organization, they the people need to know that okay, the location, the sales and marketing team needs to know that okay, there has been another transaction of 500 rupees from, let's say, your Delhi location. Okay, so in that case you need to give all this piece of information to different functions of your organization. and this is very operational, all right, because this is uh, the first a very basic transaction on a daily basis which is happening. Okay, so what are all these things between these different functions? You're basically collaborating between different functions, you're maintaining a common database, you're updating your corporate database. Okay, so to effectively process business transaction, to control industrial processes like your supply and demand, to support enterprise communication, all right, that okay, this needs this a particular store is doing well or not. Okay, and collaboration. Okay, and to update corporate database. So now all these four functions are clear. Okay, so the first one is business transaction, industrial processes, enterprise communication and collaboration, and the fourth one is corporate database. And the main objective is to improve the operational efficiency of the enterprise. Okay, now the information system used at this level is your transaction processing system. As I mentioned, this is at the very elementary, at the very transactional level. So it is an information system that collects, stores, modifies and retrieves the day-to-day transactions of an enterprise. All right, so the example will help you understand this. All right, now any business activity such as sale, purchase, delivery, payments, etc. involves transaction. All right, and these transactions are to be organized and manipulated to generate various information for external use. External means the organizations use for other functions. Okay, all right. Now, what are the different activities which will be, tracked in operational level or transaction processing systems? The various activities will be capturing data. Okay. Then you have processing files. Now see, it is all these four activities are coming from here itself. So capturing data is your collecting. Processing file. If you're storing information, then you have to process it and there has to be a format. So processing files. Generating information. Retrieval would mean that okay, you need to generate it. And processing queries. So if there is some a requirement of data, then you need to modify it. So modifies would be, we provide you processing query. So if you remember this definition, then you'll be able to write the different activities of TPS. All right, so once again, okay, we'll just quickly revise about the complete OS. Now operational level system will have will be utilized by operational managers in tracking elementary activities. Okay, and it will provide a variety of information for external and internal use. Okay, it is to effectively process business transactions, to control industrial processes, support enterprise communication and collaboration, and to update corporate database. And the main objective is to improve the operational efficiency. If your day-to-day activities are efficient, are properly done, accurately executed, that way your further level management will also be okay, with your task would be at least they have started fine. Otherwise, if the activities are not being done, executed at the very least level, at the operational level, if they are not being executed properly, then what will strategy do, right? In that case, it would be very difficult to manage. So, operational level system has to be good. Now, the example, the information system used at this level is your transaction processing system, which is defined as a type of information system that collects, stores, modifies, and retrieves the day-to-day transactions of an enterprise. Okay, and what would it work on? It would work on, so basically any business activity, whether it is sales, purchase, delivery, payment, would involve your transaction, and these transactions are to be organized and manipulated to generate various information. Alright, so the different activities of TPS would be capturing data, processing files, generating information, and processing queries. Now we will study about the different features of TPS. Okay, first of all, it handles large volume of data because it is at the very transaction level. Alright, so it should be it handles large volume of data. Then it is the automation of basic operations like simple sale, purchase. Okay, very basic operations, but they have to be automated. Benefits are easily measurable and the source of input for other IAs. Now this we will explain further. Let me explain this example, this point, source of input for other IAs. Okay. Now we know that in an organization there are different levels. Alright, the first one is your top level, which utilizes EIS. Then you have the middle level, which utilizes your MIS and DSS. Okay, you have KMS, which utilizes knowledge from various levels. Okay, and OS, and then you have operational level, which utilizes your TPS. So basically whatever output the TPS generates, it will be utilized by your MIS as input. Okay, then MIS will further give you some output which will be utilized as the input in DSS. Okay, and the output of MIS as well as DSS will combined to be used as input to EIS. Okay, so therefore the output generated by TPS is used as source of input for other information systems. Okay. So the simplest way to represent this is this TPS. The output of TPS is used as input in MIS. Okay. The output of MIS is used as input in DSS. Okay, and the output of DSS and MIS combined is utilized as the input for EIS. Alright, that's it. Thank you.